Catus, Maximus here, this time with a little review of this True Value auto-loading utility knife. These things become more popular recently, and this one seemed pretty cheap, so I figured I'd give it a shot. I'm kind of more of a traditionalist. At least they do have a lifetime warranty. This one, unfortunately, does not include any blades. Actually, I was lying. They do include some blades. That's actually pretty surprising. This knife, you can't hear any shaking, but it does indeed have a blade in there, so I thought that was kind of neat. This little tab on the side is actually to make it easy open, and then it opens like a book, such in this direction. Kind of worry about how well that's going to hold up together over the long term. We can see a spring there. That's what's helping prevent those blades from rattling around. Anyway, I think it's interesting that they have a separate storage for the blades. There's also a spring that's holding that down. So I kind of like the idea, and actually the side panels, as you can see, are all screwed together, so it's actually surprisingly complicated. What I do find interesting is how they don't actually have it set to auto change the blades. So let's see how that works out. Pop that open, and really how it works is the blades sit in this kind of cartridge, and the little stops here are spring loaded, and they're just tall enough to grab one blade. So what I'm assuming here is if I pull out some of these other blades and drop them into this spot here, this is how it ought to work. Push it forward when the blade's dull. You can pull this out. I assume that you can flip it around pretty easy to be able to use the other edge. And you can. So you can easily flip the blade around if you want. Or you pull that blade all the way out. And I assume you just ratchet it back and go forward again, and look at that. It indeed did pick up another blade. That's actually not too bad. So pull out a blade, retract it back, and go forward again. That's actually works pretty well. So I guess the only thing that to really comment on is how long will it actually last. These little tabs here, they seem like they're okay. Let me get a magnet to see if they appear to be steel. And indeed it is. This little piece is a little hardened piece of sintered steel, and you can see how the edges here are beveled, and that's how it's able to slip under the next blade. Some pretty solid catches. Metal switch. Overall, I think it's an interesting design. Really, it's just time will tell how well it really ends up holding up. Because, of course, the one thing you worry about is as you use it and are putting a lot of force is whether or not it will end up slipping past there. As a matter of fact, let me get this blade. Actually, I can do it this way. We'll see if it wants to slip just on some basic tests. It's always been like the most annoying thing about utility knives is that some of them, the blades will push back in. And a couple of other things. I mean, I do like the fact that this will hold so many blades, because it looks like it could probably hold anywhere from 2 to 5 blades just under this, plus probably 4 or 5 blades in this section. So this knife can hold, 8 to 10 blades. Just worried about its overall durability. You can see like down here, there's a real thin cross section of this, whatever this cast piece is here. So I'm worried about it dropping or any kind of real heavy duty use. We'll give it a few stabs here. This is usually where you have the most issue with utility knives, where you're trying to cut linoleum or other products, plastics, and you really have to get in there and wrench and press down pretty hard on it, and that's really what I worry about. And at least it's not slipping out of the box, but it's really a time will tell type of thing. So to tell you the truth, I'd still recommend one of these Lutzes. These are, or at least until recently, were still American made. Pretty heavy duty, very substantial. Even though this is a more compact and smaller utility knife, this Lutz probably weighs twice as much as what this auto-loading Master Mechanic does. I'm also noticing there is no lanyard hole, which is handy for utility knives. Many times you need to use these at elevation, putting on, doing roofing jobs, siding jobs, vapor barriers, all that type of stuff. So it is nice to actually have the option for a lanyard hole, just to prevent it from getting dropped. So that is a omission, and just the lightweightness of this is of concern. So it's a neat idea. It seems to work. They do have a lifetime warranty. But this does seem more homeowner grade versus something that's proven like a Lutz 82, which is a contractor grade, and you'll break the blades all day long before you have any issues with this. Where this one has a bunch of delicate internal parts in there. Sometimes there may be certain situations where you're trying to do certain cutting operations and may accidentally hit this and have this kind of come open and separate, so I'd worry a little bit about that. But as far as how it functions, that's actually a pretty cool deal. That quick release mechanism really does work surprisingly well. Some of them don't work very well, but at least on this one, even if it's not very durable, at least it works. You know, just being able to press a button, pop out a blade, and just go retract and back again. That's about as easy as it gets. Anyway, really appreciate everybody who watches my cringy little reviews. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.